Hey everybody, Adam here with Hometown Acres. Welcome back. Today, we're gonna build a fire pit. All right, so you guys have seen all the work we've been doing over here the last couple of months, getting this whole area in front of the garage all ready to go and making a nice entertaining area. We bought this fire pit 3 or 4 years ago. It is a smokeless fire pit. I'm not a big fan of these. I think as long as you are burning good, dry, seasoned firewood, you're gonna have a smokeless fire as long as you have a good hot fire going. It's only when you're burning wet firewood that you're gonna be creating a lot of smoke. So I really think these things are like the biggest gimmick out there. If you have a nice fire pit, you can get a nice big hot fire going, it's gonna be smokeless. So what we wanna do today is replace this little chintzy, I think it's like a 19-inch fire ring. If you're dead set on getting a smokeless fire pit, have at it, but get the biggest one they make so you can actually get a decent little bit of wood in there. But we're gonna get rid of this thing, and what I wanna do is make a paver stone fire pit that's really gonna look nice and just kind of tie this whole area together. Now, when we were first thinking about what we were gonna do for a fire pit, I originally thought we were gonna have it right out here in front of the patio, but as you can see, the fire pit, all the chairs, everything, that would have blocked the entire view of the pond from up here. So neighbor Doug actually just stopped over and we were kind of brainstorming on how we should do it, where we should put it, how big it should be. And this is kind of what we settled on, was putting it over here on this side. You still have a little bit of a walkway to get back behind the chairs if anybody ever needs to go in that door. You still have all of this open space that you can maybe put something later on down the road. I don't know what we're gonna do with it, but it gives us options for down the road. And then we still have our walkway over that way. All right, so here's what we have for materials into this fire pit. We've got about $150 worth of paver stones from over at Home Depot, 4 bags of leveling sand that was about 15 bucks. And then the bottom of the fire pit is gonna be fire brick. That way it's gonna be nice and easy to shovel all the extra ash out of the bottom. And that was probably the most expensive part. Those suckers are about $4.50 a piece. And we got 60 of them, so it's about $270 in fire brick. But if you take $270, plus 150 plus 20 or so, we're still going to be less than $450 for this entire project. Go try pricing out a Solo Stove Yukon that's only going to give you about 27-inch diameter. This fire pit is going to be about 5 foot in diameter. So I think when we get to the end of the day, apples to apples, most people are going to choose something like this over a smokeless fire pit. Without further ado, I'm going to get all of this stuff moved out of the way, get it marked out where the pit's going to go, and we're going to start building. All right, so this is kind of where we're going to do a little bit of playing around. I'm not really sure whether I want to have this circle but right up against here. That way you could still maybe get a chair on this diagonal and that diagonal over there. Or do I want to have these stones create like a flat edge on this side and then have it round out kind of like a horseshoe? That way you still have that curve that matches the curve on the front landscaping of the house, but then this edge matches there as well. So we're going to do a little bit of playing around with these stones and see what looks the best. Yeah, I don't think I like that. Even though it mates up with this corner or this edge better, and the front edge still rounds out nicely with the front of the landscaping, and we're doing it on purpose, it looks like we screwed something up. So I think we're gonna go back and just stick with a nice tried and true round fire pit. All right, so we got the fire pit done. Neighbor Doug stopped over and gave me a hand, but we can't have this video be complete without testing it out. So we're gonna get a little fire going here. And our handy dandy trusty fire starter. This thing is awesome. I will leave a link in the description. All right, guys, it is the next morning, and that is the fire pit. Obviously, we still need to get some patio furniture up here. That's going to be in another week or two. We actually just ordered a bunch of patio furniture for up here. But we mentioned in the last couple of videos and asked for your advice on some kind of unique fire pit. You know, we kind of wanted something that nobody had ever seen before. But when it came down to it, we just straight up copied Neighbor Doug. So if you guys haven't checked out Neighbor Doug's YouTube channel, One Eye Customs, this is his fire pit here. And like I said before, you know, we were looking for some kind of unique idea, but how many different sayings are there about if it ain't broke, don't fix it, leave well enough alone? And the last thing I wanted to do was get too crazy and over-engineer something that wasn't going to be practical or wasn't going to stand the test of time. And some people might question whether these patio stones or paver stones are going to stand up to the heat and crack and all that. But Doug, how long have you had this fire pit now?
Well, we built this this whole area, the pool, the fire pit area, back in 2008, so it's been 15 years now, and I've done absolutely nothing with this. Haven't touched it, haven't needed to.
Haven't had to replace a single patio stone or paver stone here?
Nothing, no. And a lot of it, I think, is because of the diameter. You're not real close to the fire, so those side bricks don't get hot. And then you'll see the fireplace brick that I put down on the bottom of that on top of the concrete, and have just never had an issue with it. You know, what I found is when you have a fire rip-roaring in here, and I've always tried to make sure I use seasoned wood, because that's one thing that'll chase people away quicker than anything, is a smoky fireplace that's no fun to sit around. This is a 6-foot outer diameter, and I want to say it was 4 feet 8 inches or something inner diameter. And that really, it puts you about 2 feet away from the fire if you scooch the chairs way up. So when it gets cold and the fire is low, you'll see people scooting their chairs up closer. When we stoke that thing up, I mean, you will slide back, 5 feet from the fire pit. And the other thing that I wanted to do is, I see a lot of people build their fire pits that are, 18 inches tall. And when Adam and I were talking about it, I said, I really like this design that I did here, because when that's burning, it lets that heat come out over, and you can actually feel it on your knees and everything like that.
I know we had a square elevated fire pit at our Pittsburgh house, and it was probably 18, 24 inches up, and you could not feel any of the heat except for maybe from your shoulders up as you were sitting around the fire pit. So I did like the idea that this is lower to the ground. The barrier from the heat still allows the heat to get to the people that are sitting around the fire. But yeah, we talked about the quickest way to turn your party into a sausage fest is to have either a cold fire or a smoky fire, because all the girls will go inside.
Yep, yeah. I haven't met a woman yet that sits by a fire that's cold or smelly and smoky. It was important to me to make sure that everybody enjoyed themselves around here.
Yep. So yeah, guys, like I said earlier, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's what we did here with our fire pit. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this one, give me a big thumbs up, click that subscribe button. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Guys, I almost forgot, speaking of firewood, fire pits, and all things wood related, we are going to be at the Paul Bunyan Show in Cambridge, Ohio, Friday, October 6th. We'll be there Friday, not Saturday. I won't be able to make it there for the weekend, but we will be at the Metza Machines booth from 11 to 1, and then we'll be there the rest of the day just kind of wandering around. So if you can make it to Cambridge, Ohio and the Paul Bunyan Show, I'd love to meet you and see you there.